Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Morning Five on Friday, September 26, 2014. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Duane Long. Duane, Johnny Dixon is out for the year with tendonitis in both knees. Urban Meyer announced this yesterday in his call-in show. Another tough blow for a young player on this team. Now, Johnny Dixon wasn't playing much, but it just continues to hurt the overall team depth. This is a guy who enrolled early last January, one of the top wide receiver prospects in the country, and was expected to make an immediate impact. Duane, Urban Meyer was saying things last spring like, he's a grown man, just every indication that he was going to play right away. Wasn't playing that much anyway. Just your thoughts on the Johnny Dixon situation. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise if he can get healthy, that he can get a redshirt year out of this because he wasn't playing much anyway. Just your thoughts on this.
Well, I have to look at it that way, that really at that position, those inside receiver spots, the slot, the flanker, the wingback spot that Urban Meyer's offense uses, there's so many players there. And I was thinking, we're going to lose somebody. This gives an opportunity to a really talented kid from the previous class, James Clark, who broke his leg. He was playing as a true freshman. He broke his leg last year. It gives him an opportunity. You got a better shot at keeping all these guys around. I mean, when somebody jumps you, when you're a year ahead of a guy or 2 years ahead of a guy, when he jumps on the depth chart, you got to start thinking about, is this the place for me? And now James Clark gets that opportunity to step in and take those reps for Dixon, and you get this kid completely healthy. That's another thing to think about. He's good enough to be in there as a true freshman despite the depth, and he's now he gets time to heal up. You wonder how long this has been bothering him, and getting him completely healthy. He gets in the weight room too for a year. He gets stronger. It could be really can be a blessing to disguise for both those players and for the team in general. Just keeping a kid like James Clark in the program, because I really felt like with those younger guys jumping over top of him, and guys his age also higher on the depth chart, that he was a prime candidate to lead the program. You don't want that. You want to keep guys like that around as long as possible.
That's a really good point about James Clark. I remember interviewing Zach Smith 2-3 weeks ago, and he was talking about his top 6 guys are going to play, and he talked about the top 6 guys that we've seen out there this year, Corey Smith, Michael Thomas, Evan Spencer, Devin Smith, and then the 2 hybrids with Dontre Wilson and Jalen Marshall. He said those 6 guys are all going to play. We're going to rotate them. We're playing more guys than we did last year. And I'm thinking, well, who's number 7? Who's number 8? So I asked him about that. He said, well, number 7 is Johnny Dixon. Number 8 is James Clark. So they're right on the precipice of getting playing time. So now James Clark is now number 7. He's one injury away from being in that top 6 and getting a lot of run out there. So we'll see what happens. That's a good point, though. This could open the door for young James Clark. Duane, the offensive line shuffle continues. This is right in your wheelhouse, my man. It looks like they have found their top 6 offensive linemen, including the 5 that have started thus far from left to right: Taylor Decker, Pat Elflein, Jacoby Bourne, Billy Price, and Darrell Baldwin. And then the 6th guy is the top backup, Chase Ferris. It sounds like Chase Ferris, Duane's going to enter the Cincinnati game early tomorrow, and either Price will come out at that time or Elflein will slide to center, Price will stay in, and Bourne will come out. Duane, it would sure be nice to have like a solid 5 offensive linemen right now like they did last year, especially entering the 4th game of the season. But the Buckeyes are still tinkering with their lineup. What are your thoughts on this? Is this bad news that there's 4 games into the season still tinkering with their lineup, or the fact that they've pared it down to 6, are you okay with that?
Hell yes, it's a problem. Offensive line, you have to have the talent, but you also have to have guys that are used to playing together. I've been watching line play since I was a very young man. I talked to a lot of coaches that focus on offensive line, and the one thing they say, obviously you want to get the most talented kid you can, but these guys got to play together. And you got all this shuffling, and not only just guys moving in and out of the lineup, but moving positions. It's just not that easy to go playing a different position. It really isn't. Assignments are different. Steps can be different in how you approach a block. It's just they got to settle down. Pick their guys and go with them. I hope they get this settled before the Big Ten season starts. Got another bye week coming up. Pick your guys and let's roll. Enough of this. Now we're going to shuffle again. Ferris has been backup tackle. Now he's going to move into the guard mix. What are we doing here? It isn't like Baldwin has played so well that we can just leave him, establish him at right tackle and leave him there. Just let guys get settled into their routine, into what they do. They know each other. They know what's going to happen on this play. Let them get their assignments down, let them get their steps down, and let's roll. Enough of this. This should have been decided before they come out in the first game against Navy. This should have been established. And here we are going into Game 4, and we're down to 6. Come on, man. This has got to get fixed.
I'm with you. Very well said. I have nothing to add. You're on point with that whole thing. Speaking of being on point, the point spread continues to rise for tomorrow's game. Ohio State's now favored by a whopping 17 points. Duane, it opened at 14. It rose to 15.5 by Wednesday and is now all the way up to 17, like I said. You usually don't see a point spread go up by 3 points in 1 week, Duane. The money is obviously going towards Ohio State big time here. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that everyone gets excited as Buckeyes lose a game. Cincinnati looks good. And then you really start getting down to brass tacks and say, okay, who's the better football team? Who's going to win this football game? And the reality sets in. This is Cincinnati. Keel looked good throwing the football, but he's still going to this is stepping up a level, definitely stepping up a level. I think that's more accurate. If the Buckeyes come out and play their game, they're 17, they should cover this.
Yeah, Steve Zellweger made a good point. He was watching the Cincinnati-Miami of Ohio game, and Cincinnati never put the Redhawks away. And this is a Miami team that has the longest losing streak in the country. And Cincinnati, even though they looked good early against Toledo, then they gave up 24 unanswered points to Toledo. They were up 41-7. All of a sudden, it was 41-31. So I think Ohio State's offense is going to have their way with Cincinnati's defense. We'll see. I think it'll be an exciting game, but wow, the point spread all the way up to 17. So I hope if you were putting some money on the Buckeyes out there, fans, I hope you did it early in the week. On the site today, Bill Kurelic already has his recruiting buzz that focuses on 2 2016 defensive ends, Austin Robertson, who visits Ohio State tomorrow, hoping to get an offer, and Josh King. Bill will also have a preview of the games that Ohio State commitments are playing in this evening. He'll post that early this afternoon. We will also, of course, have the boarding house posted around noon and much more. Thank you to Duane Long. Thank you to all the listeners out there. Take it away, best damn band in the land.